Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at wagertalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Welcome to the NBA Triple Double Show powered by SportsMemo. I am your host, Ronald Cabang, also known as handicapper on SportsMemo.com, at handicapper sports on Twitter. I'll be joined by my good buddy Skee Profit from WagerTalk.com. We're going to be breaking down 3 games from today's big slate. But before we get into those games, I do want to talk about some promos that we got going on over at SportsMemo.com and at WagerTalk.com, where you can find Skee Profit. It is the start of a new week, so you know what that means. It is $9 Mondays. You can find all picks and packages from your favorite cappers over at sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com for just $9. We also have a new big promotion going on right now to get all access from your favorite handicappers over at sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com for the rest of February for as little as $9 a day. Starting today, get the rest of the month, the rest of February, from any of our cappers over at WagerTalk and Sports Memo for just $149. This is a limited time offer, and like I said, it's all access, all sports, all plays, not just the NBA. No coupon is needed either. The earlier you sign up, the more days you'll get. Normally, that package is $276, but for now, like I said, is $149. These amazing promos over at sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com. Make sure you check out the sites on a daily basis because we got things going on every day. Also utilize the free live odds pages, and plenty of the cappers also provide free picks and analysis on a daily basis as well. So check out sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com. Also, make sure to hit the likes and subscribe button here on YouTube before you go. It does only take a couple clicks and it helps us grow our show tremendously. With that said, let's get Skee Profit up in here to join me on the panel. Skee, what's good, man? Obviously, yesterday, a big game yesterday, the Super Bowl. Everybody's been talking about it, but we can't forget there was NBA action as well. How was your weekend overall from a betting standpoint? Not just, the NBA, but, I know you touched on other stuff as well. I'm pretty sure you touched on the Super Bowl. How was everything this weekend?
I had a good weekend. I didn't touch the NBA on Sunday, but I did go 3-1 during the Super Bowl, so that's always good. And on Saturday, I think I went 2-0 in the NBA, so that should be 5-1 weekend. We'll see if we can keep that going on the show. So good to be on here with you, RC. I always love breaking down the games with you, and let's see if we can find some money.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend I did profit each day this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, including 3-1 in the NBA. So, like you said, man, let's keep up the momentum here and get some wins early on this week in the NBA. First game up, Nuggets and the Heat here. Nuggets coming off a 14-point win over the Hornets on Saturday. Last of a 3-game Eastern Conference road trip as well. They have a key game coming up against conference opponents, the Mavs, on Wednesday. I believe it's at home too. The Heat, they're coming off 3 straight wins, coming off that OT game versus the Magic on Saturday. This is the third game of 4 nights, but they did not play yesterday. From an injury perspective, Zeke Naji is out. Gordon and Murray are both questionable from what I last saw. Lowry, Oladipo, Duncan Robinson out for the Heat. Harrell was downgraded this morning to doubtful, so that's going to be an issue for them offensively. Vincent, Strus, and Bam probable tonight, so we should see them on the court. This one's a tough one. Obviously, the Nuggets going over to the East, down in Miami. They've been out there in the Eastern Conference for a little bit already. But what are your thoughts on this game, Skee?
Yeah, this is a really tough game for me. Probably, I'm gonna be honest with you, my least favorite game on the board. But I'll talk it out with you. You
Mm-hmm.
have a Miami team that has been really strong at home as far as just winning games. If they're laying points, don't trust them to cover any margin. And Denver has been the team that's really strong at home and just kind of mediocre on the road. So when I think of just that, I want to be on Miami, but I just feel like Denver's been playing better lately. So I'll shift towards the total. And the home team, in my opinion, is going to control the pace in this one. And the Miami Heat, the last 5 games are playing at the you had the third slowest pace in the league, and both of these teams are top 10 defensive rated teams in that same span. So if I'm looking at that, and it's a Miami team who's not shooting the three that well this year, 28th, and you have a Denver team who's really good defending the perimeter, I think we should be looking at the under in this game.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's kind of before I heard the Harrow news of him being downgraded to doubtful. I was actually leaning towards the Heat. Because like you mentioned, the Nuggets on the road, they're not that great. In specific situations that I looked at, 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread on the road versus non-conference teams with a winning record. So they're struggling in that spot there. And on the Heat side, even though they don't cover at a high rate at home, they're actually winning some of the games where they're the smaller line, right? So they're actually, if we're looking at this line initially, it opened up. I think the Heat were favored minus a point and a half or two. So in that situation, I was like, all right, I think he can probably win this game because they're not being asked to cover a big spread. But with Harrell out now, what I did look at was how do the Heat do without him? And they've gone under in 6 of their last 7 games without Harrell in the lineup. And then also the Heat specifically as dogs when he's not in the lineup, 0-4 straight up, 2-2 ATS, 3-0-1 to the under. So that spot there just tells me to get off the side in general. But they're averaging 99.5 points per game, allowing 109.3 per game. So the two ways that I was looking at it was full game under or even just the team total under on the Heat side. For me, it's tough because we still don't know. I mean, obviously he got downgraded to doubtful, so he's likely not going to play. But yeah, this, like you said, man, this one's a tough one. I would just lean towards the under in general. Did you see with Harrell out, would we look at props with like Butler there or maybe even Bam? Who are they going to focus on the offensive side of the ball? I mean, that's the only way that I could look as well is towards the prop side if we can't really focus in on the side.
Well, I like what you were saying as far as the under, and I would like it whether Harold plays or not, but obviously we're going to like it more if he is out.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about the team total under too. All of that makes sense to me. If I'm going to look at props in this game, I probably wouldn't touch the Heat side. I just know Gordon, he's been a lot better, like dishing the ball, distributing. So his assist prop, I didn't follow the last game, or I don't have the numbers from the last game, but before that, he was clearing that 2.5 number like clockwork. So as long as they're giving it out, I think that's a solid bet. If he does go in this one, I know it's game time decision. And if you want anybody else to score on the Nuggets side, I'd probably go with Murray because he's been playing really well lately.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's move on to this next one here. We got the Magic and Bulls. Magic coming off of that OT loss to the Heat at home on Saturday, first of a 2-game road trip that was following 3 straight home games. First leg of back-to-back games too. They play Toronto tomorrow. Bulls on a 3-game losing streak. They're really struggling offensively. They're coming off of that 8-point loss to the Cavs in Cleveland as 6.5-point dogs. This is a one-off home game following 3 straight road games. They go back on the road again for the next one. From an injury standpoint, nothing to note on the Magic side, but they're going to be without Terrence Ross because I believe they're, obviously they were going to be working out a buyout, and I think he's going to sign with the Suns. On the Bulls side, Javonte Green, Lonzo Ball are out. Caruso is questionable, so we'll see if he plays tonight. These two teams have split the matchup so far this season. Road teams getting the win in both of them. Bulls won the most recent matchup, 128-109 in Orlando. Do you think the Magic can get some revenge in this one here?
Well, the Magic also play again tomorrow, and for one, I don't like the Magic on the road, and also, well, they cover on the road, I guess. They just don't win. I don't like betting on teams that have a game the following day and they're on the road, so I'll just throw that out.
Mm-hmm.
I do like betting the under, though. Road teams on the front end of a back-to-back are about 57, 58% to the under so far this season. And just looking at how these teams have been playing so far, last 2 weeks, they're combined 12-2 to the under. Their game's not even making it to 220 points. So I just feel like this total we're looking at today, it is coming down, but I don't think it's came down low enough. It's 224. I got in at 225.5. I think this one doesn't touch 220.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on the total here. I do like the under as well, and it's actually my best bet. I'll talk about it later on a little bit more on the best bet section, but this is my best bet for today's show. From the side perspective, it's tough because the Bulls win in this situation as far as playing against conference teams as home favorites. They're just not covering at a high rate. But on the other side, they're not winning games on the road at a high rate, but they're covering at a high rate. So it's that balance where you see this line at, I think, 4.5 or 5 now. It's going to be really tight, right? It's going to come down to the last part of this game here, whether teams make free throws or are the teams going to foul in that situation in the last couple of minutes. So to me, this one I feel like is really close at this line here. So I'm going to stay away from the side. But yeah, I agree with you as far as the look on the under here. And I'm going to talk about it more on the best bet section. One thing to add, yeah, go ahead.
Now, other reasons, just really quick looking at both of these teams I want to mention because I didn't mention earlier, they're both top 10 defensive rated teams the last 5 games, and Chicago's the second worst offense the last 5 games. So those are also reasons why I like it. And I don't know if you were looking at props, but before I forget, I just want to mention, Wendell Carter used to play for the Bulls. He usually takes this matchup, pretty seriously. I probably look at him on his props today. The other side, Billy Donovan's already been telling us, he's been giving us the script. He wants Vucevic to facilitate. His assists have been money. I think it's been 3.5, and he's been clearing it like clockwork. And Williams, he challenged him to rebound. He said he should be getting 10 rebounds per game. His prop is usually around 4.5, and he's cashed it, I think, 9 of his last 11 games, and he missed it on the last one, I think, because he was he just didn't play because he was a little bit banged up. So those are the guys I would look out for props, and other reasons why I like the under some more.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to, was the prop side. Do you think with Wendell Carter, do we look at the double, or do we just kind of look at him to score in the situation here?
I would probably look for, Bulls are the second. I think I have them here as the second best rebounding team in the last 5 games. So that's a little bit tough. I still think he can get a double. I don't have the numbers in front of me to really, dig deep. I just kind of thought about it right now while we were on the show. So double.
Yeah.
Or points, or I think he's going to have 10 and 10 for sure. I would say double, as long as it's reasonably priced.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think one thing to note too, the other question I was going to ask is, Levine was sort of in talks about getting traded during the trade deadline. Now obviously he didn't get traded, and he's with this team that I think even early on in the season, it feels like there wasn't a lot of, I wouldn't say chemistry, but it seems like he didn't really want to be there anymore. But after the trade deadline, the first game, he kind of went off offensively, but didn't really have any other stats. Is this a situation where we kind of look towards Levine to continue moving in the direction of just trying to be that the top scorer every single time? Would we look at his points, props, overs?
Not me necessarily today. I just feel more comfortable with the other 2 Bulls players that I mentioned. And also just, I don't want to be betting too many overs in a game where both teams are top 10 defensive rated. And, Orlando wants to play a little bit slower. So I don't know. I don't feel as comfortable thinking about too many overs. If I want overs, it's going to be Vucevic assists or Williams rebounds or,
Gotcha.
Carter on his props. Yeah, that's it. If we're betting under
let's move on to this last.
we
Go ahead.
we can't bet too many props over.
Yeah, exactly. Last game up here. I know you're gonna like this one. Obviously, it's the Lakers here. Lakers, they've made a lot of adjustments during the the trade deadline here, and really good ones in my opinion. I like how I like their roster makeup right now coming into this one. Lakers, obviously they're the new look here. They're coming off a nice win over the Warriors as 5.5-point dogs on Saturday. This is the second of a 2-game road trip. They got the Pelicans on deck at home on Wednesday. Blazers, they're coming off an outright loss to the Thunder at home on Friday. So they got a couple days of rest here. They do have the rest advantage in this one, 2 days to 1. Third of a 4-game homestand. So they've been home for a while. First leg of back-to-back games, though, for the Blazers. They do have the Wizards on deck tomorrow. From an injuries perspective, LeBron is questionable, AD probable. I would think LeBron plays today. On the other side, Nurkic is out. Jeremy Grant, Justin Winslow, Keon Johnson, and Watford are all questionable. The guys that I'm not too sure about at this point is Matisse Thybulle and Kevin Knox. I know they approved the trade for Knox yesterday with the Warriors. Approving the Payton trade. So I'm not sure if those guys kind of play in this one, but Portland has a deep squad right now that I feel like they, even if they are able to suit up, they might not get heavy minutes to start off with. From a matchup perspective, they have faced each other 3 times already this season. Lakers have won and covered the last 2, so the Blazers are looking for some revenge here to even up the regular season series. Which way are you looking at for this game here, Lakers or the Blazers, Ski?
Well, first, I agree with what you said. I like all the additions that the Lakers have made. We got all the trash, we took it out, and we brought in some people who can actually contribute to playing winning basketball for our team. So that's what I like about the trade deadline there. And I also mentioned that the Blazers play tomorrow, and the Lakers. I just, when I'm watching them play, I can see that a little bit of hunger, and I'm listening to them talk. I see they're 26-31. They got to make a push. I think they have to win like uh, 15 to 20 games versus some of these, and win a lot of these games for people in the West. They've been playing better defense, and their defense is only going to get better with the people that they added versus a Blazers team who, who's even playing center? That's why their defense is probably so trash right now. They're giving up about 124 points per game the last 2 weeks. They're the second worst defensive rated team last 5 games. So I think the Lakers are going to get whatever they want because they actually have spacing now. Anthony Davis is going to have room to operate down there. And we have guys who can knock it down versus 3-point defense who's bottom 5 on the season. So I like the Lakers to win. I think you could take the Lakers team total over. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, this one I was going back and forth on what I was going to talk about as far as my best bet, and I really do like the Lakers team total here. You bring up a lot of points as far as the Blazers defense really struggling, especially with Nurk out. Who's going to stop AD in the post there? I know we talked about it before about how AD should be able to dominate in the post in certain situations, but and then all of a sudden he ends up not, right? But I think this is a different spot here. The Blazers really have shown that they can't cover in the paint here, and then Nurk being out is just extra motivation there for AD to really get down and play in the post. Also, now he has other players who, like you said, can spread the court in the perimeter and give him some of that space. From a trend perspective, I think a lot of things really flipped for the Lakers right after the Christmas Day game. I was looking at some of the trends right after that day. Lakers 11-5 straight up, 11-4 ATS, 10-6 to the under when the total is 235 or greater since Christmas. But even though those games have been going under, you mentioned that they have been playing really good defense. Their offense is really actually doing well in those spots. They're averaging 121.9 per game. So they're doing their part as far as scoring the points. It's just, their defense is really good. So that's why they've been going under in those spots. But another thing to add to that, if you include that they're on the road in that spot, 7-1 straight up, 6-1 ATS, and still averaging over 120 points per game. So that's why I could get with you on the Lakers side here. But to add more towards the Lakers team total over, the Blazers, they're 12-1 to the over as conference home faves. Opponents' team totals are 12-1 to the over as well in that spot. Blazers allowing over 120 points per game. And today's total, their team total for the Lakers is 118.5. So there's a little bit of value there. But what I want to add on to that is the revenge angle here. They're 5-10 straight up and against the spread in-season revenge games this season. If you include that they're playing at home, they're 2-5 straight up and against the spread. They're allowing 124.1 points per game. In all 7 of those games, the Blazers did allow their opponents to go over their team total by 4 or more points. None of those 7 teams scored less than 119. And like I said, the Lakers team total is 118.5. I can only look towards the Lakers and that team total over. You also mentioned too the Blazers. I looked at the last 10 games. I know you mentioned the last 5, but last 10 games, the Blazers are dead last in defensive rating, 126.7. And then also the Lakers, they're going to focus in on the paint, right? Points in the paint. I think they're top 10 somewhere in average points per average points per game in the paint. While the Blazers, they're 23rd in the league in defending it. And like I said, Nurk out is just going to make it even worse for the Blazers here. And I also looked at the Blazers without Nurkic. The Blazers are 1-3 straight up and against the spread without Nurk at home. They allowed their opponents to go over their team total in all 4 games. None of the teams scored less than 122. Man, like I said, it was going back and forth as far as what my best bet was going to be. This could be, I'm pretty sure the Lakers team total over is going to be a premium play for me. I know you like the Lakers, but listening to what I had to say to break down the team total over, would you still take the spread over the team total?
Who said I was listening? No, I'm just kidding. But I like them both. I already played the spread, but I could, I'm
Oh, okay.
listening to you talk, and it's lining up with the way I think about the Blazers. Team total makes sense. They're not stopping anybody, and they're definitely not going to stop AD as long as he's motivated. And he looked like he was definitely more motivated last night than that LeBron game where he passed in the points. So if we keep trending in that direction,
Yeah.
I like it. I also think I like AD. Like I don't care if LeBron plays or not for the
Mhm.
side, but I think I like the team total a little bit less if LeBron is out. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think, like you said, that there's motivation on this Lakers team right now. I think they liked everything that the Lakers did. I mean, as far as the players, I think they're really happy with all the moves that were made to make this team a little bit better and make a run towards the Western Conference playoffs. The biggest thing for me, for them on the Western Conference, is that everyone seems like they got better.
Hmm.
A lot of teams got better in the West, and there's teams up on the top of the rankings who may have not gotten better, but they're already so much ahead at this point. It's teams like the Kings. Really, they kind of settled. They didn't make any trade deadline moves, but they're in a good position. But I think the Kings might be one of those teams playing above what people expected. They might come back down a little bit. It's going to get really tight here. The bottom, like I would say 6 to 12, or even 5 to 12 ranking in the West is going to be tight for the rest of the season. um One last thing on this Lakers team, what is your outlook as far as where they end up in the Western Conference rankings to end the season?
Well, as long as whatever injury LeBron has is not too serious, I definitely think they can still finish. In the playoffs, not even in the play-in. Um, they play a lot of opponents who are ahead of them in the West, and if they win some of those games, they'll move up and they'll be in that top 8. So that's what I think. I don't think they'll be in the play-in. I think their team got a lot better, and I think they'll continue to show it starting tonight. And also, I wanted to mention if LeBron is out, I probably would go and hop on AD rebounds. He'll probably be snagging them all night, and he probably snag them all night regardless. But I like it even more if he's out.
Yeah.
And if LeBron is also ruled out and the line goes the opposite way, I still would like the Lakers. I'd probably take them again. And then if
Yeah.
LeBron is ruled in, I wouldn't care if the team total went up a little bit. I still would like the Lakers team total. So I'm just waiting on the injury news as far as how I'm gonna play it again.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're kind of waiting on that. I do think he's gonna play, so I just feel like if you do like the team total over, it almost seems like you should take it now. But I mean, regardless, like you said, even if he plays or not, the line moves. I still like that team total over. The Blazers defense really is just struggling right now. All right, Skee man, this is thank you for popping in here last minute. It is now time for the best bet section. I'll let you go first. What is your best bet for today's show? Also, talk to the people about what you got going on the premium side over at wagertalk.com.
Oh yeah, it's $9 Monday. I did put. I'm a little bit of a high volume guy, so I put 4 plays up there that are like more of my better looks out of the rest of the plays that I'll make for today, and you can get them all for $9 at wagertalk.com. Best bet for today, for purpose of this show, we will go with Cleveland and San Antonio. I'm going to take the Spurs team total under 105. And really, I just think this game is going to be played really slow because that's how the Cavaliers play. Their second slowest pace the last 5 games. And Spurs offense has just been complete garbage. They're ranked 30th going up against the Cavs team who is the number one defensive rated team in the same span. You look at what the Cavs have been allowing the last 2 weeks. In general, I have them allowing 98.3 points per game. And if they're at home, it's even lower, 96.8. So I think the Spurs have a hard time touching 100 tonight. And that's what I have in my pocket.
I like it. I mean, that's a good way to pivot from the spread there. It's just to take the team total under. I like how when you break down games, you're able to kind of identify that too. So that's a good look there as far as the Spurs team total under. I would lean that way as well. For me, I talked about it earlier. I do like the Magic and the Bulls game going under. And here's a few reasons why here. From a trend perspective, the Magic are 8-3 to the under in road games following a home game. So when there's travel involved there, if you include that the Magic are dogs and are not on the second leg of back-to-back games in that spot, they're also 6-2 to the under in those games. The Magic 12-6 to the under as conference road dogs, including 11-1 to the under if they're not playing on the second leg of back-to-back games. So when they're rested, they are playing really good defense for the most part because they're even covering in those games as well. Magic 5-1 to the under as road dogs in first leg of back-to-back games. They slowed down the pace a little bit as far as looking at how they play in the first leg of back-to-back games. On the Bulls side, 8-2 to the under as conference home favorites, 9-2 to the under as versus conference teams they beat in their most recent matchup this season. It seems like they tend to slow down the pace in that in the following game for the most part. Really just and Skee touched on this too. If you look at the last 10 games here, Bulls and Magic are both in the top 10 in defensive rating while being both in the bottom 10 in offensive rating. So for me, trends in that direction, stats in the direction of the under as well. So my best bet for today is the under. I know it has come down. I actually gave it to my clients last night at 227. I do like it down to 224. I think it's at 225 right now. Let me just double check that. It is at 224. 224 would be the lowest I go. So right now at 224 is where that definitely will be the lowest I go. I did give it out to my clients at 227 last night. So nice line value from the open number. I still like it. That's the way that I go. Back to Skee. Like I said, man, thank you for popping in to the show. I know it was last minute. I just messaged you this morning. Matt couldn't join us. Joe D'Amico couldn't join us as well. Just different things going on for those guys personally on their side. I think internet wasn't working or something like that. Also, you're the first crossover from Wager Talk, and hopefully we get more guys from Wager Talk to come over to Sports Memo's NBA Triple Double show. We've been hot in the best bet section, Skee, so hopefully we continue doing that as well. Also, one last thing few more things to mention. WagerTalk.com, SportsMemo.com is where we can find both myself and Skee Profit. They both have the live odds pages. Both sites also have the $9 Mondays. Both have the all access package for the rest of February for I think it was $169, I believe. Let me get that price. $149. So that's, if you like $9 Mondays, it's pretty much $9 for the rest of the month for that package. You can just go over to your favorite Sports Memo capper and they have it on their page there. With that said, that is the end of the show. Our next show will be on Wednesday. Hopefully Moneyline Matt will be with me again, and we'll also be joined by Jeff Michaels there. Same time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. Till then, good luck with all your action. Peace.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at wagertalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.